Hey, what's up, historians? Welcome back to another great episode of Historically Haunted VODCAST, Season 6, Episode 36, with Dr. Bill Slevin, demonologist, paranormal investigator, researcher, author, educator, public speaker, and soon-to-be guest in about a minute or so. We're just going to bring him on. That's late. My Wi-Fi is a little slow today, guys. So before we bring him on, I want to bring you, Bill, I want you to do this after the show at some point. Record me a minute intro, like my guy Thomas did for the show. Check this out, guys. Thomas Patrick Gormley, the yearly sponsor of Historically Haunted Vodcast of Woodruna, Shaman Thomas Patrick.
Hello, my glorious weirdos. Thomas Patrick Gormley, the archangel of the paranormal and the shaman of the shaman and the showman. Buckle up, get your charcuterie board ready, and join Adam and his guest on Historically Haunted Vodcast. Down the rabbit hole again.
Yes, thanks a lot, Thomas. Appreciate you, my brother. His show's on right after mine, guys. Be sure to check it out. So, lost birds. There we go. So, Bill Slevin. Let me tell you about Dr. Bill Slevin. Bill and I were in an been around together, a couple different things a couple years ago. Never fully met, but we've been friends on Facebook for a long time. He is a world-renowned paranormal investigator, demonologist, like I mentioned, with 36 years of experience confronting hauntings. He holds a PhD in parapsychology, metaphysical humanistic science. He's the founder of Paranormal Existence Research Society, PERS, and he's international team with branches all around the United States, United Kingdom, Italy. Hey, paisan, that's me, yo. And he's done over 1,000 residential cases. As you know, we keep those private. Those are the people's cases. So without further ado, let's talk to the man right now. I've been friends with him for like 7 years and never had him on the show. So what's up, Dr. Bill Slevin?
Hey, how you doing? Finally.
Finally, brother. Save the best for last, right? I guess. Not that we're last, but you know what I mean.
All right.
How are you, my friend?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. Not too shabby. Finally warming up here a little bit in Maine. Snow's finally gone. We'll take it.
Oh, it's hot down here already.
Oh, what do you got, about 80?
Today I walked out and the car said 96, so I don't know.
Brutal. Danny Perez from the Radicals checking in. That was quick. What's up, Danny? Thanks for checking in, talking with Bill. You know Bill. So first and foremost, Bill, I like my audience that maybe that don't know you or getting familiar with you or whatever. Valerie Robbins says hello. What got you started into this, my brother? The whole paranormal educational field in general. Friends, family, just something you stumbled across?
I started when I was real young. I mean, I was just always into horror, paranormal. I was more one of those people that gravitated to it. I wasn't scared of horror movies when I was real little. I found a draw to it, and then I started having some of my own experiences, and it made me start researching more to find out at first, like, am I crazy? Was that actually something, or am I losing my mind? And then it brought me into, wanting to do it and learn more and research more and help people.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like me. I mean, even as you know, growing up in the 80s, I saw my first spirit when I was like 8, my grandfather. And I'm like, people in the 80s, it wasn't accepted like it is now. Now it's like, oh, wow, like tattoos and Harleys. They weren't cool in the 80s like they are now. So it's a little different. It's kind of hard to think, shit, am I normal? Am I going to get locked away in the straitjacket? So that's cool. So you definitely indulged on it. You did research, it sounds like, your whole life.
Yeah. I mean, like, growing up in a Catholic household too, you couldn't really talk about it too much, Back then it was very different. It was a lot harder. Now anybody could just hop on the internet, hop on YouTube, hop on Google and find out whatever they need to know. A lot of misinformation, but at least there's information out there. Back with me, what did you have? Hans Holzer and Lorraine Warren. There wasn't a lot to really look into and learn. It was tough.
Right. Or at least from like respectable sources. I mean, everybody's batshit crazy if they see a ghost, or you must be the Ghostbusters or something. So yeah, I get it. I get that a lot. I still get that even now. Oh, you like ghosts, huh? I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I go, oh yeah, it's always the catchphrase. So I'm going to jump all over the place. That's what my ADHD does. And I'm excited to talk to you. So what is one of your, I don't want to talk about your personal cases, residential, because I mean, we can talk about it, but not get into detail. But what is one of your most like, oh shit, I'm really in this type of case that you remember? Like, oh, like.
I have to always go back to my first case, because you know, again, like we were saying, it was hard to get into this, very hard to find people into this that were even talking about it. So when I was just turned 19, I think it was. No, I was 18 still, and it was the first time one of my friends happened to know somebody that knew somebody. You know, it was one of those things, and they needed an extra guy for a case because they one of their guys was sick. So they said, "Hey, do you know somebody?" And it came back to me, and I said, "Yeah." I was so excited to go on a residential case. You know, I mean, I was dying. Oh, I was learning the stuff, going into cemeteries, go whatever I could do, and just playing around myself and learning. But I wanted
Right.
to go help people. So to go into a house was going to be completely different. Um, it turned out to be a rare demonic case that it didn't last 10 minutes. We were in there. The investigator next to me got full on attacked, screamed through his camera. We were there 5 minutes, honestly. And he threw his camera face, you know, he had the big shoulder mounted cameras back then, and face, you know, lens first to the floor and screaming. We flipped the lights on and he was pulling at his shirt and he pulled his shirt off. He had 3 scratch marks from his neck to the bottom of his spine. And yeah, it was, you know, like I always tell people, if that was today, I wouldn't believe it. I didn't know these people. I would think this is for YouTube. This is some kind of attention. But back then, people didn't talk about it. He didn't publicize that. They weren't running out to the news. You know, he was
No.
freaked out of his mind. And we left. We got the lady out of the house, told her to go stay somewhere. But it was one of those things where, you know, I talk about demonic cases, and they are very, very rare. But this was my first case. And when I left there, I think most people probably would have run for their lives. You know, the team never did this again. They all retired. They didn't want to do it again after.
I was
they
gonna say,
saw
or
what
stop
was
doing it altogether.
Yeah, they didn't like it. They stopped altogether.
I was just gonna say that.
I left there. Of course, I'm not gonna say I wasn't scared. I was frightened, you know, because like I said, I didn't know a lot about demonology back then too. So when I saw what I saw, I'm thinking this is what a ghost does. You know, what the hell am I getting myself into? But when I left there, it actually gave me a million more questions. It actually is what propelled me into learning a lot more, because I wanted to understand why it was there, why it did what it did, how come it didn't attack me. You know, I didn't know anything about protection back then and everything. I just went in like, this is gonna be fun, you know. So there was a lot of things there that actually led me down the rabbit hole of wanting to learn more. It didn't scare me away. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
That's yeah, that's a hell of an answer. I mean, like you said, it's gonna go 2 ways. You're gonna go never again, or
yeah, exactly. It's not something you expect to see your first time out, especially. Hey, Tom. Yeah, it's not
no,
something you expect to
no,
see.
no,
No,
no.
no.
Oh, that's definitely rookies kicking the butt. Bear with me.
Absolutely. You there? Okay, there you are.
That's my girlfriend Heather down in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, keeping an eye on the chat for me.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Ah, boy, I tell you, living in the mountains of Maine, it's fun, but it's got its downplays. I don't know, man. So thank you for bearing
Yeah.
with me, and I caught everything. If you don't think I'm
Okay.
listening, I hear you. I'm just paused on my end.
That's why I keep going.
So if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
what do you use for? Well, obviously you have your Bible and certain things or whatever, your cross, but what do you use for protection? Do you use like sage or anything like that? Do you use like burnable type stuff? Do you use anything like holy water and stuff with you?
Yeah, I have a lot of things on me that I go with that are all blessed and protected. I say certain prayers on the way in and on the way out to help me and help my team with me. I do have things with me like holy water and stuff like that. It's only used, first of all, when we go into a home and let's say there is some sort of ghost spirit or something going on, energy. We have certain things we use. We will use sage. We will use Palo Santo. I use singing bowls to cleanse energy, you know, things like that. The holy water and I have the demon sage and the things like that are really only used if I feel it's possible it could be something demonic. Then that stuff comes out. That's really only there in case. I have it with me all the time, but just in case.
It's your go-to if you need it. I get you. Better safe than sorry, but yeah, you don't need it for every case. Speaking of oils, essential oils and stuff, hello, Enchantress Samaya. Elder checking in. Samaya. I always say it. I always exaggerate her name. It's Samaya, not Samaya. So okay, we'll get some fun ones. Before we do, can you please share with people watching? A lot of viewers checking right at the beginning. Can you share where people can find you if they want to message you for maybe be a guest, come to their convention, or just for help?
Sure. So there's a few things. Anything about me and what I do is my website, billslevin.com. My team site, if you want help, it's PERSFL.com. And if you want to book me on anything, it's always go through my manager, Asia, with Methodical Management. You could go to methodical.com or asia@methodical.com.
Perfect. Good friend of mine. She's been on the show. She was on the show with her last client, Father Bob, about a month ago, Bob Bailey. So, yeah, guys, hit her up. And so what's up? Jeremy Brunton checking in, saying hello to everybody. Hello, my good man. So let's do some fun ones. I want the audience to get to know Bill a little bit. What is Bill's bucket list place in America and other than America, and favorite go-to place for both? I know you've been around. You've been around the world a little bit.
A little bit. There's a lot of places you'd be surprised I have not been to around the U.S. and everything. I do so many residential cases and everything. I have, we work full time. I don't get as much time to get out there and get to some of the places. One of my bucket list places, which I never got to, and then they tore it down, was Bob Mackey's. I always wanted to go there. I'm sure they're gonna, the music world. I know they're rebuilding it. I would have loved to see the old one. Overseas, I mean, there's so many. I was over in Italy on vacation about 3 years ago. I was in Rome for a week. I was in Naples for 5 days. It was amazing. And I did bring equipment with me, but trying to go investigate there's a nightmare. I don't know anybody over there to let us in, and there's too many people. I was at the Coliseum, and I even went and did the underground Coliseum one, but you have 8 billion people there, so you can't do anything. It's too much noise, and
Wow, the Coliseum.
That's all the years I want to go to Italy. That is when I knew I was in Italy. I landed, you're walking around and I'm like, this is cool. This is nice. And then when you see that friggin' place, I'll be honest, I was like, holy crap. Oh, this is Italy. Yeah.
Yeah. That thing was done before America was even a country. I mean, Colosseums, there's some generations that have lived and died in that area. I mean, Venice with the streets of water and the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Oh my good Lord.
It was beautiful. We were there we were in Rome for Christmas. So I was at the Vatican for the New Year's Eve, the Christmas Eve Mass, and then we were in Naples for New Year's, which was an experience because I got a place that was up on a mountain, and because I heard about this, they are huge into their fireworks celebration for New Year's. I have never seen anything like this in my life. It started at about 5 to midnight, and it went until 3 in the morning. It was this wasn't professional. This was the entire city. Every person was blowing off fireworks until 3 o'clock in the morning. The video and the pictures I have, it looks like it was a war zone. The entire place was just a cloud of smoke. I was right across from Vesuvius. You could see it out of our balcony. And it was just covered. It was covered in smoke. You couldn't see anything. It was crazy.
So you were at probably the best place to be for Christmas Eve in the Vatican, and then the best place for the fireworks in Naples.
Exactly.
Wow. That's impressive. Hey, look, Boss Lady's checking in. She must be bringing. What's up, Asia?
Yeah. We're not talking about it too much.
So, did you give me a bucket list for overseas then?
I don't have direct places. I mean, there are so many places. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to back to Italy to where I can investigate. I will give you a little tip. Be very careful when bringing equipment on your carry-on.
Oh
overseas.
no.
So
Oh
I didn't
yeah,
want.
that
I'm not
must be
put.
a red
I,
flag.
I'm not putting it in my check bags. There's no way. Um, they didn't appreciate the REM pod. Consider it
Oh
looks like a damn
no.
bomb. They opened my bags. They took every piece of equipment out one by one. Luckily, I had one of the magazines I was in there. I had to take it out and show them
Oh
who
my
I
God.
was and explain because they were kind of freaking out a little bit. You know,
Yeah, if you're not into it, you have no. It looks like you're fucking a Unabomber. If you're not into paranormal
yeah,
investigating, people show up with this stuff. You're like, is this Terminator? What? Yeah, it's
right.
pretty astounding.
The REM pod is the
um,
worst. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, come on. It's a round device with antenna and lights. It might as well just label it bomb,
Well, yeah, that definitely gets some eyes on it. Hey, check this out, Tim. Look at this fucking guy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Um,
He was laughing though. He was laughing. He said, I got to remember this. This is the first time for me.
my girlfriend says I would have passed out. she actually passed out in an aquarium about a month ago. Fucking had I don't know if it was her blood or stress or what, but she fell right in my arms at the Boston Aquarium. Holy shit. Oh, that reminds
Wow.
me. Have you been to New England? You been to Salem or Maine or anything? You been to Stephen King land?
It's funny. I'm from Jersey and I have never been to Salem. I lived in
Get
Jersey
out.
I lived in Jersey until 98. I've never been to Salem. I'm hoping to
No
get up there one
shit.
of these times soon. I
I
would
think you'd
love
fit
to.
in well in a town like that.
Mm. I was in,
I think
where
you
did we
go over
go?
big. Yeah.
We did a school trip when I was in high school up to Provincetown for whale watching. Rhode Island up there.
Rhode Island, I
Um,
believe. Yeah.
yeah. But no, I've always wanted to go to Salem. I don't know why I've never gotten up there, especially with what I do.
Well, good. It sounds like we got something planned this summer there or this fall, hopefully.
Yeah.
Just be careful in October. There's like 90,000 people there. Fucking, it's pretty wild.
Yes. Yes.
So, as you know, I'm from Maine, went to the same high school as Stephen King. That's my thing. I do tours based
Yes.
on him. I'm pretty much he's my man crush, I guess. So, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite Stephen King book or movie? This is a personal
When I
question.
was young, yeah, I read more when I was young. I mean, I read a lot of books, for what we do and everything, but I used to read a lot more when I was younger. I think I've read all Stephen King from back then. I don't know, I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, there's certain books there, like, Firestarter and Cat's Eye, which aren't as, big as the main ones, but it's hard to pick a specific one. I know I'm not as huge a fan as you. But yeah, I Firestarter was great. There's something,
That's a good
something
call.
different. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no one really mentions that. It's always the basic high profile ones for the most part.
Yeah.
So Cat's Eye and Firestarter, yeah, some good name drops there. Very nice. So let's talk about author, not just doctor, but author Bill Slevin's books. Book rather coming
Yeah.
out soon, correct?
No, it's out. It's already out. It came out.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It came out in September.
Okay.
And I've been pushing it. So this was a big deal for me. I never thought I'd be writing a book, and it took me 3 years. I've been working on this book for at least 3 years. It's tough because it's
Wow.
an autobiography of my 36 years in the field. So
Yep.
I constantly struggled with myself. Like, what do I put in? What don't I put in? What's important? What's not? I didn't want to do like a book of cases. Like, I have my cases in there. I have a bunch of I have funny cases, real cases, serious cases, demonic cases, but I didn't want to just make it a bunch of stories. I wanted people to, when they read this, to understand what it's like to be me in a way, to do what we do, because I wanted them to understand the things that we deal with outside of a case afterwards, when
Yep.
things come home with us, when we get attached to the families and trying to help them. And there's a lot more than people see on TV in what we do. And I wanted people to understand that. I mean, there's even probably one of the biggest chapters in the book is the chapter on my team and how I handpicked everybody and where they're from and what they're about and why I put them on the team, because I'm very, very selective for my team, So it's a little different. It has a lot of cases in there and you'll learn a lot, but it's got some of my personal experiences when I was young. There you are.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. There's a crazy
No
delay
problem.
on my end. I'm not trying to cut
Yes.
you off. My Wi-Fi is being stupid.
No problem. Good. So yeah, so that's all. I mean, I was just saying that.
Go.
You got it. Okay, we're back.
The joys of live podcast.
Of course.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So so now I forgot where I was going, but we're good. So yeah. No, it's okay. I got it. We're all good.
That's my bad.
So no, it's good. I lost you for a minute, but we're good. So yeah, so I just wanted people to understand that. I wanted them to see something different than what they see on TV and understand a little bit of why I do what I do and why I feel, for me, I feel it's more of a calling and you know what I'm up to and what I'm going to be doing in the future a little bit.
Yeah. It sounds like you're staying focused on what started you in this in your base roots, but you're also, I mean, everybody's learning and evolving, so you're picking new stuff into it. But sounds like, yeah, man. I mean,
yeah, it's a big book, and that's why I was battling with myself because I kept saying, I got to take that out. It's 364 pages, and I took a lot out. I had to take a lot out, so there may be another one in the future. But you know, I didn't
say something enough for another book.
Maybe, yeah. I had to leave a lot out.
Make them always leave them wanting more, as they say.
Right. So I also I was going to say real quick. You probably never even heard of this because I don't advertise this yet. I need to put it out there. People have been loving it, but I haven't. So I have another book. And it's a journal and case log. So I made it to where you could go in and you can log your ghost hunts, your ghost tours, your investigations, whatever. And it actually follows like the actual flow that my team uses when we're doing an investigation with the research and everything. And there's enough in there for 10 cases. So I did that. I haven't even advertised it, but I've been using it at the conventions and stuff, and people have been loving it.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah. I mean, like you said, you're doing this to do it, but you're educating people. Like you said, you're not just a researcher and a demonologist. You're educating others on the right way to do it, what to look for.
Right.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah. Like I said, and you've worked very closely with Ed and Lorraine, you know, the type of, you know, the people in the family and friends and stuff. So surrounded by a lot of people that know you. And know.
I wish I could say I met them.
Yes, but working
with
Tony and Dan and
and everybody. Yeah. It's great, you know, because who did I look up to back when I was young? It was Ed and Lorraine, and you know, so
it's all we really had, like you said.
It's great to be able to you know, work with some of the people that have been part of them or family or friends or you know whatever, and it's good to help carry on that legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. You got any conventions coming up? I should have looked to see, but I didn't notice if you had anything coming up in this fall, this spring.
Yeah, summer? I'm waiting for a bunch of confirmations, but the ones I have is first off is the one I'm dying for right now is the New Orleans Paracon. And that's July 31st, August 2nd. That is going to be amazing. I'm actually going to be teaching a course, the first time ever in a location where I'm teaching a course on how to be how to do an actual residential investigation. So we have workshops there. It's going to be really good. So I'm excited about that. That's July 31st to August 2nd in New Orleans, at the Crown Plaza. And then I'm going to get the dates wrong, but it's in September. I want to say like the 19th, that weekend is UltraCon in West Palm Beach, Florida. That's always amazing. I know the owner Irving real well, and it's always a great convention. And then also I got a real interesting one that I want to go to in October 10th. It is the Flagstaff CreepyCon in Flagstaff, Arizona. Ooh. Yeah, we just booked that one, and they actually have it's a 1-day convention, and they have a massive amount of guests now. They keep advertising guest after guest after guest. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow, West Coast bound, Arizona. First off, right in New Orleans, Madame Laveau, you got all the vampire lore, zombie lore. Oh man,
Father Sebastian's one of the guests. So that we have a little bit of everything, you know. And Arizona,
Yep.
I'm looking forward to because I actually have family in Arizona that I haven't seen in a long time. So they better get in a car and come see me.
Yeah, that'd be a 2-for-1 deal, man. Hell yeah, it will be. And as
Right.
far as Salem goes, I know Thomas Patrick and them run the Salem Con. We should get you in Salem this year or next year or something for a convention. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I would love to. Definitely. So yeah, I'm
Good.
still waiting on a lot of confirmations of things. You know, some people take time to get back to you. So some of them I can't. Oh, I got something to announce. They actually just put up the advertisements today, so I'm allowed to say it. I'm going to be on an episode of The Haunted Files on Paraflix with Ed and Mike. Ed, hello. See, we're talking about the Warrens. Eric and Mike from,
No way.
you know, they used to be with a team down here, War Party, that I've known them forever. And it's a great episode. It's coming out May 29th. It's with Robert the Doll down in Key West. And, you know, I've had a huge, long connection with Robert. And the owner of Robert is, not the owner, but David Sloan, who's the caretaker of Robert, and he wrote the book on him. He does the tour. He's a good friend of mine. He actually wrote the foreword to my book, and we have an entire chapter on there. I have an entire chapter talking about David and Robert and all the people I've met affected by Robert, because probably next to David, I speak about Robert the most, and I hear all the stories. It's amazing to hear some of these stories from people. You know, I'm sure a lot could be coincidence, but, you know, don't mess around with him. Just be respectful. That's all.
He's got what, like 700 or 800 fucking letters of people that have said sorry to him, wrote, I'm sorry, I looked at you. Sorry, I took a picture with your permission. Please take this curse off. That's not BS. These people aren't doing this for luxury, for money, or for fame. They write they're cursed.
Yeah.
And maybe it's coincidence, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think there are over 10,000 letters now.
Wow. I said hundreds. It's over 10,000.
Yes, it's a lot. People go there, they think it's a joke, they disrespect them, they start having bad luck and problems, and then they start writing to them begging for forgiveness, you know. So I've encountered a lot of stories that just blow my mind, you know, when you hear them.
That's why demons take these forms, like with Annabelle and with Robert, because they look innocent and sweet. Oh, it's just a little doll. How bad can this be? And it's like, okay, Zoinks doesn't have to be a one-eyed cycloid monster from the Sandlot or something. From the Sandlot, but from the Goonies there. It doesn't have to be a big creature. It's always, that's the thing I wanted to mention too with demonology and stuff. You notice, I mean, a lot of these forms come to you, or things that it's always simple. Just, it seems so, but it's not. It's deep, isn't it? It's
right. And with Robert, it's a little different because they believe he was not a doll that went after trying to kill people like Annabelle. You know, they believe there are multiple things attached to him now, especially from everybody coming down there and bringing their energy and acknowledging him and whatever. He doesn't have anything demonic that they know of. They have identified a few of them, but it's more of a respect thing always, that they're just going to throw that negative energy and give you a hard time if you're disrespectful. So, I mean, it's the same thing like when we go into a home or whatever. We're not there just to be respectful to the families. We're there to be respectful to whatever else is in there, because we're not there just for the family. You know, you want to help the spirit too. We're not there to just be like, get out, you know. So be respectful.
The TV bad guy, where get out of here, show yourself. You're not the TV bully. Yeah, I get you. Because like you say, ghost spirits, it's a former person. It's someone's mother, brother, son. They're good too. Some of them are just confused, right? Lost.
Yeah, they're not there to harm you. They're, you know, like people talk about evil spirits. In my opinion, evil spirit, I don't take it as something that's going to attack you and go after you. An evil spirit is like this. If you know somebody in life who's a cranky old bastard, when he dies, he's probably still going to be a cranky old bastard, you know? So that's how I would look at it, more of an evil spirit, you know, just somebody.
That guy that cut you off in traffic, that gave you the bird as he went by, he's still a dick in the afterlife.
Right. If they're not happy when they're alive, they're probably not too happy when they're dead, especially if they're stuck here.
No. And of course, people have fell into this whole trap where, it's going to be a demon. They automatically blame that. So I get it.
Always. Demons everywhere.
Yeah. No, that's it, man. There's more demons than angels, I suppose. I remember, I don't know about as far as going, you must go to like, You must go to like attraction places. Like I've been to like Hillview Manor.
Mm.
I
haven't been
places
there.
like that old psychiatric.
I've been to
Places
some
like
places.
that, though, you must have went.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of stuff down here in Florida too. I love St. Augustine. St. Augustine is
Lighthouse.
great. I mean, it's beautiful up there. It really is. I mean, just the city itself, let alone the haunted history of it. And as a historian, that's your place.
They say that St. Augustine was discovered before Plymouth Rock was. It was 1615 as opposed to 1620. So they all think that that's the first spot. I go, no, they found Fort Augustine, and probably even before then. We just haven't documented. So the reason why I brought that up about Hillview Manor, I actually went to St. Albans Asylum, and that's what I was trying to remember, in West Virginia, and we did a thing there with a bunch of people. But they said no releasing of spirits. Don't tell spirits, don't ask them to go to the other side. Please don't. If there's any spirits here, keep them here. And I thought that was odd. And that's what was my whole point to that. How do you stand on that? That's why I was leading to that question, because I thought that wasn't cool, man. I don't know.
It's a tough thing on that, honestly, because I come from a place where I didn't go out to do public investigations originally, more for practice and to learn or whatever. But I was more for helping people in residential homes where you want to cross the spirit over, you want to help. But public investigations, it's a tough thing there, because obviously they're not going to want you to come in when they're charging you $1,000 a night. They don't want you to come in and get rid of all the spirits. But that's not actually going to happen, because a million people come in there. They bring their energy. If you go into a place that's not haunted and you sit there for 2 hours with a recorder asking who's here, eventually somebody's going to be there anyway. So a lot of these places develop more things than they originally had. I mean, if you have a medium who goes in and picks up on a spirit that is in distress and doesn't want to be there or needs help, there should be no stopping them or not allowing them to try to cross something over. I mean, we're here to help everybody. We're not here just to help the people,
Right.
and no offense to these places that want to stay in business. I understand, but we're here for everything, to help everybody.
It's almost like spiritual slavery in a way. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
You stay here. Yeah, no.
No, he's our ghost. Like, wait a minute, that's a soul, man. You don't own that. But so I want to get your thoughts on that, because I thought that was kind of made me not want to go back ever again. I like the history of the place, and I thought it was great. But I thought to myself, I don't want to give these people money if they're going to they're literally using it as a circus. I go, well, I'm not trying to bang off anybody online. We already said we wouldn't. I didn't want to do anything like that. And I just want to get your thought on that, because I just thought that wasn't cool as a whole. A beautiful place. The people were great.
Right.
I just thought that was a weird rule.
Yeah, that's weird. And I also don't like the ones that will tell you. There are some places that have said to people, you can't post any footage until we see it and approve it. Which,
really? I haven't heard that one yet. Wow.
Which I don't. I mean, I guess they take it like if somebody goes in there, look, we all have nights. People think it's fully active everywhere you go every night. I mean, most of the time we get nothing. So, I'm sure if we went into a location and we sat there for 12 hours and then went and put a review or put up on our thing, like we were in there and we captured nothing really. And then we heard this, but it was really nothing. It might deter people from going there, which it shouldn't, because it just doesn't mean they were active that night. I mean, they're not like, dancing monkeys. They're not going to perform on demand, But,
all right, guys, he's here. Punch in. Let's go.
Yeah, we're here. Let's go. If anything, they're probably like, oh, shit, here they come again. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Push the red button. If you say yes, push the red button. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, we got to play with those damn
But it's
cat
true,
balls
though. I mean,
again.
it's a whole nother thing. And yeah.
I mean, but I just don't agree with that, because it's like anything. It's just like if I have my book out there, if you didn't like it, put a review that you didn't like it. I mean, it's not for everybody. And it's the same thing with this. If we didn't capture anything, we should be able to say, hey, we didn't capture anything. Doesn't mean your place sucks. It just means we didn't capture anything.
That's it.
It happens.
And honestly, it happens every time. It almost seems like it's set up. Like, where's the light? Where's the fog machine? Okay, right. You know what I mean? Because it's funny you say that, because as you know, like you go to these places and not saying that we're better than anybody or seasoned, but we've been to a lot of places, and 9 out of 10 times you're kind of just swatting away flies, or
Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah.
it's the anticipation. It's being in possibly a historic place. That's the thrill for me right off the bat. And
Right.
then you know
And
what I
it's
mean? And then of
research.
course the residential cases are all about helping someone either say, no, you had to have bad electricity. No, your window's open.
Yes.
Or you might want to get a priest
A
in here.
lot of that. A lot of that
Yeah.
that people don't think, you know. And that's the thing. I mean, we go out there and it's for research. You know, if I go out there and for 10 hours I get 3 hours of footage that's, oh, what is that? It's almost something. What can it be? I can't understand. I rather go for that 12 hours, get nothing except one thing that I could fully understand. Because to me, that's the best evidence. You know, I mean, I could hear a million things on my recorder. If I can't make it out, could it be something? Yeah, it could be. That static could be something. It could be them not harnessing enough energy, not being able to communicate properly, interference, you know, crap. Who knows? It could be anything.
Yeah.
But I can't take it as evidence if I can't understand it. And especially, I have 33 years in the technology field.
Yeah.
I'm an IT director. So I've been
Wow.
working with technology all my
Yeah.
life. So I know what sets stuff off, you know, scientifically, naturally. I know a lot about cameras. The facility I was just working at, we had 130 cameras in the facility that I work with, I maintain. So I see all the stuff all the time. I know what tricks it, and, you know, it helps me a little bit. Because for me, I always say that the
Wow.
paranormal is the unexplained. So if I can explain it scientifically or naturally, then it can't be considered paranormal. You have to, it's easy to rule out the scientific stuff first and then figure it out. Too many people watch, you know, Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters, and then they go into a person's home and every little sound has to be a ghost. No, you have to prove the ghost. You know, it's not like, oh, I have to prove that it's not something. I have to prove that it is something. It's very, very different.
Very, very different. And
Yeah.
it's funny because, like I tell people, 9 out of 10 people that witness ghost aren't sitting there with, excuse me, beep boops and recorders. They're just doing the dishes, taking a nap,
Right.
eating sandwich,
Right,
and they
right.
go, wow, there's something. It's just they're not looking for the ghost. You know what I'm saying? So if I
Yeah.
go to a house and I just kind of sit in the corner, do my own thing, I'm thinking to myself, well, the ghost doesn't know I'm looking for it. Maybe he'll try to surprise me.
Right.
That's my approach to the time. You know what I mean? And I think,
Yeah.
like you said, a lot of times it's all for naught. But at the same time, that one time when it does go, it's like, oh shit. Well, this one I can't explain, guys. Check this out. You know, whatever. You might
Right.
have something good. So
And,
yeah,
and
great
that's
the answer.
Yeah, and that's why I try to I do a lot with educating. You know, I do a lot of libraries, we do schools, and anywhere I can, I try to educate a bit. And it's not to like cut down TV shows. I've been on some of them. It's not, you know, there's two things. There's paranormal entertainment and there's paranormal. You know, and not every show is full paranormal. You know, some of it is entertainment. And that's fine, but it does confuse people. I tell everybody the hardest thing we deal with is not the ghosts, not even the demons. It's convincing somebody they're not haunted, you know, because they watch too much TV and they don't want to believe us, you know, and they want to believe the person they see every week on TV that, oh, he said that's a ghost, it's an orb, you know, and it's it's one of those things where it's hard, and you'll know the difference when you go into a home, because when we get a family that's scared and we're in there and we tell them, we find out it is nothing and we can give them a logical explanation for it, they're relieved to all hell that it is not. There are others that are disappointed because they're watching too much TV, you know. So
Trust me, you don't want to be haunted. You don't want to be in a haunted home. You don't want a demon in your fucking house.
No,
you really
no.
don't. You
No,
really don't.
I laughed. I had to take a step back from the Facebook groups. I used to be in all those Facebook groups, and man, I used to get trashed for telling them the truth, you know, and I had to back away from them. But there was one person. These people stick out sometimes to me.
You were the
And the
spoiler.
person, yeah, he posted something, and it was, you know, it was a typical orb, and he had put up there like, and he was asking, you know, anybody know what this is? Can you help me? So I went in because somebody said, it's a demon, you got to get out of your house, right? Of course. And then, you know what he wrote under it? Wow, that would be cool.
Oh,
no, wouldn't. I'm gonna be honest, no wouldn't. So these people, I had a client that I took off of a group one time because the people in there were telling him the craziest things I've ever heard. They were telling him to go and buy ghost hunting equipment so he could investigate in his house to figure out what it is. Worst thing you could do. And
especially
then,
when you're untrained. Not that we're all trained. There's no, but he doesn't have a fucking clue. He's just going to be a beginner
No.
and go there with his dowsing rods and shit. What are you doing?
Right. and they were telling him, they go, here's what you do. Go to the sink, take a cup, fill it with water, say a prayer over it, and now you have holy water.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
No, it's not. So
Give me a break.
That's why I try to educate not just the public. I try to educate other people that want to get into this, because I encourage you to do it. It's great. But if you want to get into the residential side with people, learn the real way, because you can harm somebody. If you don't know how to distinguish the difference between a ghost, a demon, and a mental health issue, you can seriously harm a person, or an addiction, or a fear and trauma. And there's so many different things that it turns out to be. And you can harm people because guess what? Your sage is not going to fix their illness. And when you leave, they're going to be scared even more now, Yeah. So.
Yeah. And you're going to open up and then if there is something there, he's going to go, who the fuck's this guy? You're going to literally, just like you said, make it even worse. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
We get so many cases that come from people who went to other teams. And hey, look, I'm not saying we're the best and we know everything and everything I say is right, but they come from people that didn't know enough in a residential investigation, and they actually aggravated whatever was in there, so that's tough. And then try to talk to that family and tell them that it really isn't anything, because they've already heard from somebody else they believe is a professional. And now it's hard to convince them otherwise. It's a lot.
No. Yeah. That's you're trying to go and fix a problem that you didn't start, and they're looking to you, and you don't want to drop the fucking ball, because now what? Now your whole field looks like shit. So you're trying to be the savior. That's rough.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
Wow, I got my mouth on the floor there on a couple of those things. I can't believe it. I mean, and the people, like you said, some people are literally. I mean, some may want to be some may want to show off in a Facebook post, but I think some just literally don't know any better, and they just see what they see on TV, and they go grab a crucifix at their local yard sale or whatever, and some water, and bless it themselves, because everybody's got that power. You are now holy.
Yes.
So good. Good luck. But
I noticed a lot of calls during COVID, at the beginning of COVID, when everybody was kind of quarantined in the house for a bit, because what they don't realize is, we did have an uptick in things because there were a lot of people dying suddenly out of nowhere, but also you had a lot of people now confined to their homes. They're getting a little stir crazy. They don't know what's going on. They got fear. They got nothing to do. And, I've had calls where, they're telling me, oh my God, I heard this and I heard this. And I'm like, all right, so what's going on? And all right, you've been home. All right. So, you watched 10 hours of Ghost Adventures. So, so now every sound is going to be very enhanced now in the middle of the night. So yeah, there was definitely an uptick on both sides of it. From the fact that I believe there were a lot of spirits lingering around, because, 1 minute they were coughing, the next minute they were on a ventilator, and the next minute they were dead. I don't think they really knew what happened. Some of them,
That's true too.
It was a lot.
No. Yeah, and like you said, some of them are just a family member that are lost, not a demon. But just because you hear something doesn't mean it's us demonic. But people jump on that. Now you spook the spook. Now the ghost like, oh shit, where? He's out of there.
Yeah.
So
let me explain. I've been part of well over 1,000 cases. Wow. I've been part of 7 demonic cases. That's it. Wow. And as a demonologist, I get called in, from other people and places to help assess if it could be demonic. So I'm probably going to more places than most people that have a possibility. And still, there's 7. And out of those 7, I have not been part of a full-blown exorcism, just an infestation and oppression in the house. One where it started to take over the older lady in the home, but not a full on, possession. Those are very, very rare. So
Wow.
it's out there. It's definitely out there. I will tell you, I saw things I never in my life thought I would ever see except for TV. But thank God they are very rare, because I do not enjoy going on those cases, because it's one of those things where you just walk in and you just like, what the hell is going to happen today? It could be nothing. It could be really bad. You don't know. And you're just waiting for it.
You see a side of life that not everybody, 99% of people don't see. And, that's fucking rough to go to the grocery store the next day with old Timmy after what you saw the night before. Holy shit.
It sticks with you. Those 7 cases will haunt me for the rest of my life. I'll never forget them. I mean,
wow.
there's no way you could forget what you saw, when it's things that if somebody told me that, I would say you're full of crap. Honestly, I would. I wouldn't believe it. And it's things you have to see to believe, and I hope you never do.
Anything you want to talk about, or you're not at liberty?
Yeah, I've talked about some of them. I mean, I have one case where we were doing the assessment. I was there with the priest and with the team, and out of nowhere, I got hit. It was like 2 hands hit me in the chest like this, and it knocked me clear across the room. I would say close to 30 feet across the room.
Holy shit.
Here's the thing. What is the most frightening thing in the world? I got knocked across the room by something I could not see. So how do you defend yourself? Obviously faith comes into a play here, but at the time you're laying on the ground. I wasn't laying on the ground going, what happened to me? I was laying on the ground going, what's next? If it had the power to just do that when we were just checking it out, what the hell else can it do? I have seen a few things. I have seen somebody actually levitate off the ground. I have seen things fly across the room. I've seen people get attacked. And it's not, it's not something you can forget. And I will tell you, no joke, every team that I was in, all of those cases were not my cases. There were cases I was called into. Every one of those 7 teams never, ever did this again after those cases. They stopped doing it because they were too frightened by what they saw. And they know that like a ghost and a spirit, it can't really harm you. It could scare the shit out of you if you don't know much about it, or they can knock things off the counter, open the door, and annoy you and scare you. But a demon can actually go through you to your family. So it's a dangerous thing. It's not something I would tell people, every person out there, go get into, with demonic cases, because it can affect you in ways you would never expect, and it can affect your family. It's just one of those things that you just don't know what it's going to do.
Wow, that's the real deal. I mean, I've watched videos of Ed and Lorraine talking about like the Amityville house and different things, and that farmer dude from in Massachusetts or whatever, Maurice, that was crying tears of blood on his shirt.
Yeah.
Some people go, wow, and that's not, like you said, that's not, it's cool. It's one thing with Jason Voorhees or Leatherface. Oh, that's kind of cool, but this is real. Not going, oh, change the channel, because this is real shit. And that's, I can't even imagine.
Well, you know what I tell people? I say,
wow, I'm trying to digest all that.
Yeah. Well, I tell people this. I say, think about it. You're out at a bar. Somebody's drinking. They're drunk. They're getting in your face. You could control the situation. You could grab them. You could move out of the way. You could defend yourself. You could do a million different things. But I was just standing there. Didn't see anything. So what do you do? And if they could do that to me, I mean, and I was bigger back then. I'm about 210 now. I was probably about 260 back then, and just was like nothing. So
everybody in the room must have been like, whoa.
Not the priest. The priest was just kind of like, yeah, seen it. I don't know. They're trained in a different way. I don't get it. One of the team members came over to help me, and when he ran over to help me, he got hit from behind and knocked him right over me. Not nearly the same force, but pushed him right over me. So that's why I say they were scared. I mean, most of those teams were pretty frightened, and that's why I say it was a calling for me in a way. I really do. I'm not saying I have some calling from God. I don't know, but I feel something that made me want to do this after experiencing things like that. A lot of people would have run after that first case.
And like you said, it's not cool to have a demon. That's proof why it's not. It's very, it took some years off your life, I'm willing to bet. That fucking, wow.
Yeah. It sits with you. It definitely does. And you know what? You know what sits with you a lot more that people don't realize? Forget the demons for a minute. Uh, just cases where we go in and deal with, especially families that have small children. And these people are the ones, not the ones that are like laughing, oh, this will be cool. The ones that are terrified. I've had families call me going, I need to know if I need to move tomorrow. You know, they're terrified. And when you go in, and sometimes it takes a little bit, and you're trying to figure out what it is, and you're trying to get rid of it, and you don't know what's bringing it in or why it's coming back. And you have to deal with these families and watch them like mentally break down from the stuff they're experiencing, and the kids are terrified. You leave there, I don't care what anybody says, you take that with you. And that's some of the things I talk about in my book. It's like, you take that with you. I got to go home and I got to sit there now and going through 10 hours of footage just to try to find one little sound that could possibly help me help these people, you know. And we're nonprofit. We have never taken a penny for anything we do. You know, we do it purely to help people. People have donated to us, you know, and that's fine. We're a nonprofit, you know, thing, but we that does not mean anything to us. And that money goes into an account that's just for the team to help us investigate if we need to maybe travel to somebody or do something. That's it, you know. And it's heartbreaking. Yeah, I'll tell you something about one lady that, you know, and I don't know, I can't say I know what happened to her now. It was an old lady that contacted me probably about three years ago or so. At first, you know, sometimes you kind of giggle a little bit when you get a call or something, because it's like, oh boy, you know, you hear something that maybe you never heard before. And this old lady, she was a very sweet old lady, but when you hear this sweet old lady talking to you like it's your grandma, and go from laughing and joking to hysterically crying and breaking down, and you can't do anything because you know she has an illness and there's nobody to help her, and she's far from you, and she has no help, she has no family. She was living like in a trailer in the middle of the woods, and she was terrified, and you can tell she was ill by the things she was telling us. You know, she was saying that she had demons in her house, and the demons were demons and ghosts, and they were running a kitchen. They were running a restaurant in her home. And they were using the smoke detectors to tap into her phone lines, and they were charging thousands of dollars making phone calls, and there was people waiting to eat, and there was nobody there to serve them. And you were like, okay, we got to try to get to her, you know. But then there was no way to get to her at the time. I was trying everything possible. I said, listen, this is what we're going to do. Sometimes just giving them a little help. I said, we're going to send you a whole little kit, and I'm going to talk to you on the phone, and we're going to walk you through it. I sent her sage, Palo Santo, some crystals, a whole bunch of things. I said, we're going to get them to her. We're going to walk her through a few things for now, just to kind of relieve a little stress on her and see what we can find out. She contacted me hysterical, crying again, because she had nobody to help her. She was like 80 something years old. She forgot to tell me she's on a walker, so she can't do anything. We sent her the papers of what to read. She couldn't do anything, and she was on a landline on the wall phone, and so she couldn't go around the house. Now, I will say this, that instantly intrigued me on how this old lady in the woods with a landline found us. She's got no computer. She's got no nothing. Crazy enough. You know how when you have insurance, these insurances have these hubs that you could call and say, hey, listen, I need a podiatrist, or I need a heart surgeon, or I need somebody, and they match you with the right people for your insurance. They gave her our information. I didn't know we took insurance. But they gave it because I guess they believed they had worked with this lady for so long through so many different doctors, and she wasn't getting help and she wasn't doing it right. So they figured they would try everything, and they gave her us, and you know, and we went back and forth with her for like 6 months. And we helped her a little bit, and then she would get worse. And they stole everything out of the house. Now they all returned it, and you know, and I don't know. We lost contact with her. The phone wouldn't work anymore. We had no relatives. We had no nothing, and it is kind of heartbreaking when you have you get phone calls. I get a phone call and a message. I didn't hear it at 3:00 in the morning from this old lady crying hysterical because she can't sleep because they're in her house and making so much noise. It's tough. It is. It's a lot we got to deal with. People don't realize, honestly.
No, it's true. I mean, almost like, I hate to say it, almost like not a hospice nurse, but nurses, you take care of your patients, you get to know them, and God forbid they pass away, whatever. It's almost to that extent. You're working with the dead, but you're working sometimes with, mentally
like a therapist.
People. Yeah. A lot of people are mentally, they get the issues. And how do you describe that and say, no, you don't have a ghost, you're just crazy, or you try to work with them and hopefully help ease their tension. I get what you're saying. You're trying to walk off the ledge. You really are.
Some teams that again, from TV, they'll walk into a house and be like, okay, what's going on? All right. They just pull out equipment. They go all through the house. We'll spend a good 3 hours just sitting there talking to everybody because we want to hear what they have to say, what they experienced, what they think it could be. And we want to hear them multiple times because sometimes not saying they lie to us. I mean, we've had a few, but sometimes they're so excited and they're so anxious that they say things differently. So we want to hear it multiple times. Also, they don't understand that we are like therapists in a way where we're most likely the first people that are willing to sit there and hear what they have to say and not judge them. Everybody else is going to judge them. We let them vent, even if it takes 3 to 4 hours, whether we're on Zoom or whether we're sitting in their house. We just run the recorder and we just let them talk and let them tell us everything. And then that's one of the biggest things that is the most important is listen to what they're telling you, because sometimes you'll hear something in what they're telling you that will give you the lead to what's going on. It really is. It's true.
That's what a researcher does right there. That's what an educator and a researcher does. You get the facts.
Exactly.
You try to listen to things. You try to compare things and figure out the hot spots. And wait a minute, that didn't add up. I'm not saying you're playing a cop either, but it's almost cop role. Like, wait a minute, that didn't line up a story.
Exactly.
Fucking. This fucking hour flew by. We got about 3, 4, 5 minutes left. Dr. Bill Slevin, one more time. Where can people find you, my brother? Go through the whole list if you don't mind.
Go the whole list. Yeah, no problem. So everything from me is on my website, billslevin.com. All my social media is at Slevin Paranormal, Instagram, Facebook, everything, you can find me on there. If you're looking for help, go to my team site. It's PERSFL.com and fill out the application and we'll get in touch with you. If you want to book me for an event, to speak, anything like that, go through my amazing manager, Asia, at Methodical Management. It's Asia at methodicalmanagement.com, or sorry, Asia at methodical.com. It's also on my website and everywhere you can find all the info.
Yep. And I shared some stuff on Facebook. Guys, message me if you need to. Say, here's that guy again. I'll say it's fucking Bill. Know your role, and I'll send you Bill's way too as a last resort. But yes, Asia. She said hello earlier. It's been quiet in chat a little bit, but I think everybody's zoning out to you talking to some pretty deep shit.
They're at an event. They're at an event tonight.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. They're at Transylvania Restaurant,
Connecticut.
Yeah, and I know Samea's there, and Tom and Stacia. Everybody's there, I think, right now.
Oh, Drake is and Tom's show, the whole nine. Well, before I let you go, I'm gonna ask couple more questions that I had on my mind. I want to ask you because you mentioned earlier about horror movies. What's your favorite non-real life horror movie?
See, I've watched so many horror movies on my drive alone. I have over 3,000 here. I love horror. I will always go back to the same one. I have to go back to the same one, which is the original Halloween. It's hard for me to get past that. And you know why? When I'm originally from Jersey. Yes. And I see your mask up there. And if you look all the way in the back, he's right there.
Oh, you got him too. Yes.
He's back there. I think that one's signed by Tony Moran. But
that's what I guess. That's my DVDs, Tony Moran. I met him in Salem, Massachusetts, Bill, where you need to go.
Did you? I did Florida Horror Fest with him a couple of years ago. Great guy.
Great dude.
The thing I love about that movie the most, for me, and this is growing up in Jersey, like Halloween, and I have to say Halloween and Christmas down here. Oops, sorry. Halloween and Christmas down here suck in Florida. It's a little too hot. It doesn't give you that feel, you know. But growing up in Jersey, the thing about Halloween is the atmosphere.
Oh,
You know,
boy.
like when you're just walking down the streets and the leaves are blowing, and it has that absolute fear
Yes.
and that feel of Halloween and autumn and the whole thing. And I just can't get away from that movie. I watch it every year on Halloween. You know, I believe me, I have a ton of other great ones. Like I love Trick or Treat.
Okay, yeah.
I love Sam, you know, and those, but
Yeah.
and I will tell you this, one of my favorite, you know, and I grew up in the 80s, so I go everything from B movies to, you know, one of my favorite all-time movies from the 80s is a movie called now I'm gonna forget the name of it. One Dark Night. One Dark Night is an awesome
Ooh,
movie.
I don't know if I know that one.
It's the thing is, it's the only movie
Really?
back
I'll
then.
have to look it
Yeah,
up.
take a look at that. I'm telling you, you're gonna like it. It's one of the only movies back then, especially being into this back then, where they talked about psychic energy. The guy in the movie dies, and he
Ooh.
has these psychic energy, and that's how he like tries to come back to life. And it's a whole thing. And the greatest thing about it is Tommy McLaughlin wrote this movie, and he wrote one of the Halloween, the Friday the 13th and everything. And I did a show with him. And I was so excited to meet him just because of that movie. And he was surprised that I brought that movie up, you know, and we were talking a lot about that and everything. He's a really good guy. So that movie was one of my favorites back then because it was different. It wasn't your typical slasher film, and which I loved them all. And I'm going to give you one more cool story.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of the cool things I have from when I was young is I was in the Boy Scouts when I was little. And our Boy Scouts, you too. So our Boy Scouts, we used to go to camp at Camp Nobi Bosco all the time, which is where they filmed the original Friday the
First
13th.
Friday the 13th.
Now this was
Jason
before.
Brown as a boy.
Yes. Now here's the thing. This was before they acknowledged it and they talked about it. So we used to sleep in all the real cabins that they filmed in. This was way back. This is in the late 70s, early 80s. You know, so it was after the movie, with early 80s, we were sleeping in those cabins. And, you know, as young kids, it was who's got the balls to run out and in 3 o'clock in the morning and jump into that lake, you know, because it looked like the scene from the movie. Everything was still the same. The only thing they had was when you walked into the general store in the front where you could buy some like candy and snacks, they had the original Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake sign. That was the only thing that they advertised at the time. Now they do sleepovers and they do all kind of stuff. It wasn't talked about back then. But
No.
I have all those childhood memories, especially being a
Oh.
horror fan, sleeping in those beds in those cabins because they were all the same back then.
Dude, I could do a whole show just on that alone. We'll have to do it.
Yeah.
I just have to get back on again. How about around Halloween time? I have you back on and we talk about some horror shit then, because
Absolutely.
flew by and I still got a bunch of questions. Wow, that's dope. That's dope.
I knew you'd like that.
Dr. Bill Slevin, known this guy for a long time on Facebook and through we're actually in an organization together a couple years back. So I've never actually had him on. That's my bad. So he's going to be on again.
Anytime.
Until then, real quick before we go, I got another 2 minutes I can sneak out. Are you going to be on any podcast anytime soon, or can I get you on some if you're willing to?
Yeah, I'm always up for it. You can either contact me or Asia, you know, and
Yeah.
anybody you think of. Yeah, I do have some coming up. They're gonna yell at me if I forget who it is. I'm on the Mini Vinny show. I want to say it's on my wall. I think
There's some shit in a couple days, and I'll share it on the podcast page and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's June 26th.
Okay.
I do have, for local people, I do have another, we have a thing down here called Flamingo Gardens. It's a little zoo down in Davie, Florida. Great place. There's a lot of haunted history there because it's old Indian land. And they started doing ghost tours, and they have me come down as the celebrity investigator, and we do the tour there, and a couple of my team members run the tour, and we, you know, take out some equipment, and we have a good time. And I think the next one is, I think it's actually that might be June 26th. I just go to my Facebook or my page.
That's why you have a
forget the
manager.
dates. Yeah, I forget the dates where we were. Oh crap.
Follow Bill. Hey, follow Bill Slevin on Facebook, guys, and you'll find out the dates. Follow the podcast page.
Yeah.
I'll share some shit up. We'll hook you right up.
I'll put them into the chat later.
Yes, and I'll get them on. So,
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Bill Slevin, man, I appreciate your time. This was a great hour, and I'll get you back on.
Absolutely.
We'll talk some horror and see what you're up to and everything.
Anytime.
I'll talk to Asia, and hopefully around October or something.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds good. Thank you so much for
Awesome, my
having me.
guy. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you to Thomas Patrick Gormley. He's busy right now, the sponsor, and Talking Shit podcast. They're on next. Thank you for the monthly sponsorship. And we'll see you next week. I forget who my guest is. Just tune in. Thank you, Bill Slevin. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Stay spooky, guys. Have a good day.